Hi everyone, it's Jadia from messintomiracles.com, helping you create something new out of what you've already got. And I want to talk about the dreaded waiting period. When you are taking a leap of faith or making a decision or waiting on an opportunity, it's always going to suck because you have to wait. And who knows, how long you'll have to wait. Like I said in my last video, which I am filming on the same day, which is why I look the same, so please ignore that. Usually if I'm filming on the same day, I'll switch outfits and switch my hair, but I am just feeling a bit lazy today, so hopefully you don't mind that. But I wanted to talk about the waiting period because I don't ever want to seem like on my blog or in these videos that everything was just so easy and I had complete faith the whole time and I never doubted myself and I never doubted God and blah blah blah, because it's just not true. I mean, I am human and I do not have blind faith. I do trust and believe in God for everything, but at the same time, like I said, I'm human and I do suffer from anxiety, so I'm just naturally a worrier, which I've been working on a lot, but I'm naturally a worrier, so I did have to battle against myself to keep up that faith because I knew that that was an important component to making this happen for myself. So I'm holding a book because I actually want to read something to you today, because it's going to talk about basically my relationship with anxiety and depression, and it's very vulnerable, so I am reluctant to share it, but I don't feel alone in this anymore like I used to at the height of my anxiety, especially because more and more people are talking about mental health, and more and people have been open about their struggles with mental health, so I just feel a little bit more okay with sharing with you how I have struggled with anxiety and depression. And I did it in written form because I just really feel like writing is therapeutic, and I feel like I'm able to express myself a little bit better writing. I'm just gonna start reading it. I am really nervous. So I just started off with the question, what does the anxiety of waiting feel like? So it feels like uncertainty. Did I just make up the voice of God who told me to quit my job? Was this whole decision that I had felt so sure about actually a complete mistake? Was this a test that I had failed? That's how I feel a lot. The anxiety feels like a rush of panic surging through my body. It feels hot, like the inside of my body is on fire. Even though I know God's got me and I pray away the fear, He's telling me now in this moment that I need to just get these feelings out on paper. The anxiety feels like the end of the world, like there's no redemption for whatever I just did. It feels like nothingness, like there's just a black hole filling up space in my mind and I can't seem to get through to the other side. The anxiety feels so big and so endless, like I'm being swallowed up by the ocean, and no one can hear me or see me or even remembers that I was out there in the first place. No one will be coming for me. No search party will be sent. The anxiety is trying to convince me that it's my family now, that it's the only thing that will never leave me. No matter how many times I ask it to leave, anxiety always seems to remember where I keep my spare key. It lies to me constantly. It tells me that this is what's normal for me, but not to tell anyone else because no one can relate. No one will understand. Everyone will think I'm weird. And it's just my life now. I know I had a life before anxiety, but it doesn't seem like it was real. It plays like a movie in a loop, and I see a girl that looks like me, but I just can't remember her. Anxiety feels like worry without knowing what there is to be afraid of. And oftentimes, this is when it invites its friend, depression, to come visit and sometimes even stay. Depression at first seems like a welcome change from anxiety. The worry is quieted and the numbness starts to set in. Oh, how good it feels to not have to listen to the voice of anxiety anymore, to feel more at ease. But as time passes, you realize that the more you hang out with depression, the more you start to lose yourself. You start to do only what it wants you to do. You stop doing what once made you happy. You break off contact with those who love you. That's a big one. It's a more controlling relationship, but that's what makes it feel so easy to sink into. It tells you that it will protect you, that you will never have to feel hurt or pain ever again. It lets you finally sleep. But at some point, anxiety starts to get jealous that you and depression have gotten so close so fast. It regrets introducing you to. It starts showing up as a third wheel to all of your plans, and things get weird and uncomfortable. Suddenly you're so sleepy, but too wired to sleep. You are worried about the future, about getting everything on your list done. But then depression reminds you not to worry. You don't have a future to worry about. You are one big walking paradox. Because depression is just trying to protect you, it tells you just not to leave the house anymore. As to not to run into anxiety, of course. And at some point it suggests there may not even be a reason to leave your bed anymore. It's safe there. And like it says, it's just trying to protect you. But it feels more like it's smothering you. You start to notice that your relationship with depression was a rebound. And although it served its purpose at the time, this isn't what you wanted. This just isn't working out for you anymore. You sit down with depression to talk about it, like adults, but the control has already made its mark. You go in with strong arguments, ready to end it, but somehow depression smoothly talks its way around it, just like it always does. The way it's so good at doing. You can't seem to shake it for good. The decision is made, though. You will start sneaking behind its back, little by little. It starts with a phone call to a friend, or maybe even seeing a therapist. You start to journal and to pray, and maybe even do your hair one day. Of course, depression gets suspicious, but you are determined. Eventually, you meet some new friends. Joy is infectious to be around. Faith allows you to dream and to get excited again. And happiness might be the most badass friend of all. It makes you realize that as you grow and you change and life happens, that you can always create your own sense of it is well. You love how you feel with them. And you see that your life with anxiety and depression does not have to be your normal. Every lie that you were told by them is just that. It's a lie. You have the power to take back your own life. You see that now. Kicking them out has never provided a long-term solution. So you must move instead. And writing that is just it was amazing because, as most of you know, anxiety and depression kind of comes in cycles and in bouts. You know, sometimes you don't have either or. Most of the time I don't have depression and I just have anxiety. But in this waiting period, like I said, I don't want you to think that this whole process has been sunshine and rainbows for me, because it hasn't. It hasn't. And although I know for sure that this was the right thing for me to be doing, and that, you know, like I said, God has my back, and I wasn't going to fall and I wasn't going to ruin my life, I still felt that sense of, I can't do this. I can't do this. And why, God, did you choose me to give this life to, and to have to make all these tough decisions and live life? You know, it's tough. It's really tough. And I could also not be more grateful for the same exact things, which is crazy. But I just wanted to write that because I have, in this waiting period, felt anxiety and felt depression trying to knock on my door again. And I always said I never want to go back to that. I never want to allow myself to get to that place again, because it's really hard to get out of depression. It is. And the way that I ended that, I didn't end with solutions, really. I can't tell you how to kick your depression, how to kick your anxiety. I have never kicked my anxiety. It's always here somewhere. But the reason I ended it like that, with just the notion that since you can't kick them out, you need to move instead, just meaning that you need to just keep moving forward in whatever way you can, whatever that looks like to you that day or that hour or even that minute. You make a conscious decision as to how you are going to take a step forward. And like I said, that step forward can be as small as it needs to be, but it just needs to happen. And so, of course, you can't always kick these things by yourself. You need to talk to someone. You do. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. You can't do this on your own. And yes, God is there for you, but sometimes that's not enough either. You need to talk to somebody, and like sometimes that is God, but a lot of times it's someone who is trained to really help you with those kinds of things. Sometimes you need to get on medication. That's not embarrassing. Sometimes you need to just take time off. You need to take a leave and go somewhere. But whatever it is, mental health is important. And you literally cannot do anything else for anyone else when you are not taken care of. So I hope that you take this seriously. I just wanted to let you guys know that the waiting period is not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. It's not, I'm not over here drinking like champagne and eating frigging crab cakes all day. Like, I have had moments where I have bawled my eyes out. I've had moments where, you know, my dad needed to talk me off the ledge of, just metaphorically speaking, of me saying like, this was a huge mistake. I'm gonna see if, you know, my old job can take me back. Like, I don't know why I did this or what I'm doing. So I do want to let you know that although I don't talk about it all the time, because there are way more up days than down days, but I did want you to know that it does exist. It does exist, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. So I hope that you take care of yourself and talk to someone if you need to. So I will see you guys soon. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content. Thank you.